I just filmed this entire video and then realized my microphone was off. I'm glad I caught it. But anyways, today, second time's charm. Today we're gonna talk about sleep on your period, insomnia, sleep troubles, because I find and I've discovered that I don't sleep as well on my period and, you know, the week or so leading up to it. And I was like, video idea. So I looked into it. Not surprisingly, a common thing for people to not sleep the best on their period. And there's some reasons to it, and there's some things we can do to get a better night of rest on our period. First off, surprise, surprise, PMS can impact our sleep, because why not? And it's worse for women with PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, of course. Heightened levels of anxiety and depression in our luteal phase can obviously impact our sleep, so that's where the PMDD comes in. As we know, our hormone levels are changing, and it can impact our core body temperature, and so maybe we're just hotter, and so you might need a cooler sleeping environment or lighter clothing or less clothing when you're on your period or leading up to it. I know ever since having kids and being pregnant, I just am like a hotter person. I'm still cold, but I feel like I sleep hot. I can't tolerate heat very well. So as well as our body temperature being affected, our melatonin production is also impacted by our hormone levels. So it just all plays into a different kind of sleep on our periods. Some women experience less REM sleep at the end of their cycle. The first stage of REM is usually around 10 minutes, and by the end of the night, as it lengthens each time, it gets to about an hour. And REM is important. I'm not going to get into it, but it's something that happens during our period. Many of us have heavy enough periods that we either have to wake up in the middle of the night to change our period product, or we are anxious about bleeding all over our bed. I'm definitely in that category. I have laid down a towel, which is very helpful. While a good nighttime routine is helpful regardless of where you are in your cycle or time, year, or whatever, giving yourself more time to wind down leading up to your period and on your period might be necessary, as well as allowing yourself more time to sleep. So going to bed earlier, sleeping in a little bit more. I'm definitely much more lenient and flexible with how long I sleep the last week of my cycle and during my period, because I just know my body needs more sleep and I want to give it that. If your brain is scattered and swirling while you're trying to fall asleep, or you wake up and you find that it's going, I find that it's really helpful to empty out my brain in these moments. So I will do a brain dump, or you could journal. Mine is basically just whatever, all the do's and thoughts and the things that are swirling in my head, to get them down in a paper, because I feel like the thing that keeps me up is trying to keep all those thoughts at the front of my brain to remember the next day, and that's never gonna happen. And then I really like to listen to a meditation while I fall asleep, because I find that just helps cut out those thoughts and just focus on relaxing my body and drifting off into sleep. If you worry about leaking in the middle of the night, 10 out of 10 recommend laying down a towel. I have red towels that I lay down. I will sleep with a super tampon, an overnight pad, and a towel if I deem it necessary. That way I don't have the anxiety about bleeding everywhere and having to deal with that in the middle of the night keeping me up. You want to make sure that you are dressed comfortably and that your room is cool enough, because we all know it's really hard to sleep when we're just hot and sweaty, or we feel like our waistline is constricted and we're feeling crampy. If you have period cramps or any sort of discomfort, pop some sort of pain medication before bed, turn on your heating pad, and then right before you fall asleep, just turn it off so that heat can help you drift off into sleep but not run the risk of burning yourself in the middle of the night. If you need a little extra help falling asleep, you can try some magnesium, you can try melatonin. I find that sometimes I kind of have to reset my sleep, whether it's waking up several times a night with a kid or coming back from travel, and just taking melatonin half an hour before I want to go to sleep helps for a couple of days, and it helps just kind of reset my sleep cycle. By keeping track of things like sleep and our quality of sleep and how rested we feel when we wake up on our charts, it really helps to show a pattern so we can better prepare for future cycles. It helps it make more sense, and when there's a pattern to it and a reason to it, it's not as frustrating, in my opinion. So that's why I like learning about these cycle related things and how our hormones impact everything with our bodies. So that is what I have to say about sleep on our periods. Sometimes you just need to tweak it a little bit to make sure you're getting a good night's rest. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.